is one class of substances that help the body to generate energy. Okay, so there's a particular chemical in the body called hormone, the insulin hormone,
Okay.
that helps greatly in, you know, helping the body to utilize the sugars.
Okay.
All right, so along the lines, sometimes you may have a deficiency I mean, the levels or the amount of this hormone, insulin,
Okay.
or sometimes you have enough insulin. However, the response to insulin is not adequate, which is called insulin resistance.
Okay.
In either case, the net effect is that the body cannot as much utilize the glucose that that is being supplied with. Okay. So in a nutshell, that's what diabetes is. Because of the fact that the body cannot, this hormone is not, the body cannot utilize this sugar, you then have an array of complex symptoms and medical issues that can result from that. So there are different types of diabetes. There is the type 1, which is where you have this lack of insulin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sometimes because the body is fighting itself.
Yes.
Sometimes you can have that. That's not really the case where you have insulin, but there is resistance in the sense that the body cannot really make use of it, of the sugars. That tends to type 2 diabetes.
Mm.
Okay, so the type 1 tends to be commoner in children, type 2 in adults. But sometimes it's not so straightforward. But you can have other types of diabetes. You can have what is called gestational diabetes, which you find in pregnant women. But again, like I said, it's not so clear cut. Or it's not always so clear cut. And you can have other causes as well. So the second part of the question, okay, that managing the emotional challenges that can accompany this condition. Well, that in itself presumes that the emotional challenges that can accompany the condition, which is very true. And the emotional challenges can result from a lot of things, starting from when people first become aware of the diagnosis to the day-to-day care of diabetes. Some of the times you have also had people who are taking care of people who have diabetes, and looking at the first hand or second hand experiences. So sometimes you have people who have lost relatives from complications of diabetes. Maybe there are family members struggling with diabetes. What about the economic body, the economic strain? Buying medications. Again, like I said, part of it, the day-to-day care, especially for example for people that may need to be injecting themselves with insulin. So there can be a lot of reasons. Even sometimes the impact of diabetes itself on body organs can be a source of emotional challenges. So how do we manage the emotional challenges? Well, the emotional challenges, they are wide and varied, and it will depend on the exact type of emotional challenges that the person is having. Can be depression, anxiety, diabetes, burnout, and a host of other ones. However, just to speak generally, some of the things that can help is, first of all, becoming about what diabetes is.
Okay.
That will go a long way, because sometimes you have unfounded fears, from what people have seen and heard, and they themselves are not really equipped with information about the illness. So that's one, because that goes a long way. Another one will be some of these emotional challenges can come at different times. From the definition, we say it's a chronic illness. It's not an illness that once you have it today, tomorrow it's gone. Sometimes it can be lifelong.
Okay.
It is lifelong. It's a chronic illness.
Oh.
So the emotional issues can come at different at different times in the course of the illness. So sometimes something that can help is something like counseling, especially with people who know a lot about diabetes.
Okay.
You can also have support groups. People, especially where people share their success stories, how they cope with the challenges of diabetes. And you can also have support even from the family setting. That's another one. You can have such things as professional inputs, like psychologists, social workers, mental health experts, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that would be, broadly speaking, yes, that would be. Then you can also have things like lifestyle modification, but maybe in the course of the
conversation
discussion, we'll get into some of that.
Okay, yeah. So let's now look at some of the causes, or is there a major cause, or there are causes of diabetes?
Yes, like I talked about the issue of the insulin deficiency.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons can be sometimes you have the body fighting itself, so to say. So you see that there are things in the body that, okay, when they sense a foreign, quote unquote, foreign body,
mm-hmm.
something that is not of the body, they tend to mobilize to fight against it. Sort of like an intruder. I'm just trying to picture it.
Okay,
coming up. And sometimes you then find that the body is attacking itself, attacking the cells that are producing this insulin for a myriad of reasons. Okay, sometimes you can have it after an infection and things like that. So that's one. Another one can be the issue of insulin resistance. One of the things that's actually been found is the fact that people who tend to be obese, it's been associated with insulin resistance, where you have I'm careful the way I want to word this. Let's say, for example, fat coating.
Yeah.
The
like overweight.
They are supposed to. Yes. So we have some of these unhealthy fats coating the receptors that, let's say, the insulin should work on.
Okay.
So that can be another. Another reason. Sometimes you can have some genetic contribution, so it may not just be a one cause thing.
Okay. So it means it can be hereditary.
That can play a part. Okay.
Can it be? Is it hereditary? Let's state clearly now. Is it hereditary?
You see, the genes contribute a lot to illnesses. Okay. However, you can have illnesses that are multifactorial. Okay. You can play a part in it, but it may not be the only cause. I don't know if you get my point.
Well, I'm trying to get your point.
The fact that one's father has it means that the person, the fact that let me give you an example. Let's say a parent has it, okay? What that means is that the child is at risk, is at a higher risk of having it compared to the general population.
It's not automatic. It's not automatic that one would have it.
It's not. No. It's not automatic. It's not automatic in that way. That because your father has it, you have. Sometimes you can have a number of factors in play, okay? But some things put you at more risk. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, I understand.
Than others. Okay. Yeah, so some things put you at more risk than others. So that's how I love to put it.
Okay.
So, then you can have issues like lifestyle, sedentary living, being overweight or obese, okay? Our diet, especially with consuming a lot of unrefined foods, refined foods,
Okay.
Foods that are not rich in vegetables, fruits, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So then you can also have other issues as well contributing. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about diet here because we're running out of time. We really need to touch this one because, there is a lot of myth out there as regards what you should consume when you have certain health challenge, right, or challenges as it were. For diabetes, would it be advisable that a carrier of diabetes consume fruits such as pineapple or apples, or can you just state categorically what this person should consume and what the person shouldn't consume, as it concerns fruits and vegetables?
Okay, so with that, I would to state categorically, I would not want to state, okay, oh, categorically, this is what you take, this is what you don't take. I leave that to the purview of nutritionists and
Okay.
endocrinologists.
Okay.
However, I do know that the attention has shifted, okay, from this eat this, don't eat this and that. That it used to be for diabetes care, where you have a whole list of a whole list, of things, of do's and don'ts. Eat this, don't eat this and that. And what you don't find is that at the end of the day, you have people who are not compliant, okay, with some of these things. Secondly, it's been found that, look, what is better is the control, not necessarily the spikes in the sugar level. Okay, so what the emphasis is on now is on balanced diet.
Okay.
So the emphasis is no longer on, okay, this is it, this is that, this is that. Okay, the emphasis now is on balanced diet. Now that can vary a bit individually, especially when the experts that are concerned with that look at specific case scenarios of different patients, of different people. Okay, so then they can help to factor or work out what can be a better one for such a person. But like I said, generally the attention is no longer on, okay, this is what you must eat, this is what you mustn't eat. The attention now is on balanced diet and tighter control of the levels, of the sugars, of the sugar level, rather than just the spikes in the levels.
All right, then. Before I let you go, let's actually talk about how one can actually control this and ensure that it doesn't get out of hand, for those that are carriers of diabetes, or how best to manage diabetes.
Okay, so I'll talk generally as a physician now. So my expertise is more in the area of mental health. But the control of diabetes, one of the first things you want to start with is things like lifestyle modification, for example. Okay, so there could be pharmacological, that is using medications, and non-pharmacological, where you don't have to use medications. Okay. So again, it will depend on the where the person is on the spectrum, so to say. So if you have somebody, for example, who is pre-diabetic, okay, is tending towards it, has a family history, the sugar level is already tending towards having diabetes. Something like lifestyle modification is very, very important. Even for somebody who is diabetic, lifestyle modification is important, where you're looking at the diet, okay?
Yes.
Things like exercise. So you see, that's why part of why I spoke about, individualized care. If is this person somebody who sits for 8 hours, 6 hours at a day, we want to look at that. Okay, person needs to become more active.
Okay.
Does person have hypertension? What about other comorbid medical illnesses are there? How can we get those under control?
Okay.
We talk about the issue of diet also, tending more towards fruits, vegetables, okay, less of refined foods in the diet. Okay, so that would be one. What about regular checks? That's another one, very important.
Okay,
because sometimes people have diabetes and they don't know that they do have it. Sometimes some people have it, but they are not frequent with their checks. Okay. So things like regular glucose monitoring, that would be another key aspect.
All right.
Another aspect will be for those who already have diabetes, depending on the type that they have, use of medications, which is why sometimes a lot of people defect. Because use of medications is very, very important, especially to enhance the control. Having a register, frequent visits to the endocrinologist or the expert that is monitoring them.
All right.
That would be another very, very important one. And of course, things like social support that I was talking about, very important, especially for the mental health side, because it is highly prevalent in people that have diabetes. Sometimes studies say up to 1 in 3 of patients that are living with diabetes has mental health issues. Okay, so at those times, because sometimes with mental health issues, people, maybe they are depressed, they don't want to do anything, they don't want to use their medications, and what they have is and a positive cycle where they are not using their medications, they are not getting diabetes controlled, you have complications and so on and so forth.
All right, then we'll leave.
I don't know if I addressed the question.
Oh, sure. We'll leave it at that for now. Thank you so much, Dr. Owadokun Andrew. Yes, thank you so much for coming on the program this afternoon. Today on Safe to Train, we have discussed the World Diabetes Day, themed diabetes and well-being, with special focus on mental health and diabetes, coping with emotional impact. My guest has been Dr. Owadokun Andrew, a senior registrar in psychiatry at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, Lagos. This is where we'll draw the curtains on today's edition of Safety Train. I am Taiwo Baruwa. The program makes a return next week, Tuesday, for another interesting conversation. Until then, yes, do enjoy the rest of your